You are 7 years old. You live in a small house in Mashhad. The walls are bare. The floor is cold stone. Your father is a cleric. He wakes before the sun every single day. He prays before he eats. He prays before he speaks. He prays before he does anything else. You watch him. You learn that God comes first, before food, before warmth, before everything. Your father sends you to the local seminary at age 9. You sit on the floor with 20 other boys. You memorize the Quran, not parts of it, all of it, every word, every verse. You recite until the words stop feeling like language and start feeling like breathing. There is no television in your house, no music from the outside world, no newspapers that question the faith. The world beyond your walls barely exists, but you hear things. The Shah is in his palace in Tehran. He has soldiers everywhere. He has American friends. He has oil money. He has everything except what your father says matters, the will of God and the love of the people. You are 9 years old and you already know which side you are on. You just don't know yet what that choice will cost you. You are 16 years old. You move to Qom. Qom is the heart of Shia Islam. The city is dust and domes and the smell of rosewater near the shrines. Thousands of students in black and white robes filling the narrow streets. You are one of them. You study under the grand ayatollahs, fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, the laws that govern everything from prayer to property to punishment. You study Arabic until you dream in it. You study theology until you cannot separate your politics from your religion, because here they are the same thing. One name runs through every conversation: Khomeini, an Ayatollah who says Islam is not just a faith, it is a government. It is a complete system for running a country, an army, an economy, a court. He says the clerics should not just advise power, they should hold it. Most of the senior scholars disagree with him. They say religion should stay out of politics. You listen to both sides. You choose Khomeini. That decision will define the next 60 years of your life. You are 20 years old. The streets are on fire. It is 1979. The Shah is running. Millions of Iranians are in the streets calling for the Islamic Republic. You are one of them. You hand out pamphlets, you organize meetings, you carry messages between cells of revolutionaries in cities the Savak secret police are watching. The Savak catches you. You are taken to Evin prison. The cell is small. The interrogations are long. They want names. They want networks. They want to know who is connected to whom. You give them nothing. You recite Quran in your head through every session. The words hold you together when nothing else does. You are tortured. You survive. You are released months later, thinner, harder, changed in ways that take years to understand. But the revolution does not wait for you to recover. Khomeini returns from exile. The Shah is gone. The Islamic Republic is declared. The country is reborn overnight. And the men who suffered for it, the men who sat in those cells and said nothing, those are the men the new system trusts. Your suffering is now your credential. You are 35 years old. You hold offices now. President of Iran, head of cultural policy, member of the Assembly of Experts. You move through the machinery of the Islamic Republic, learning how every piece connects, who controls what, who reports to whom, where the real decisions are made, and where the theater happens. You learn the difference between those two things fast. The parliament debates, the newspapers write, the president signs, but above all of it sits the supreme leader, Khomeini. His word ends every argument. His approval makes careers. His disapproval ends them overnight. You watch how he holds power. He never shows all of it. He lets factions fight each other. He lets reformers and hardliners tear at each other, and he sits above the noise, necessary to both sides, controlled by neither. You study this the way you once studied jurisprudence, carefully, quietly, without telling anyone what you are learning. You make alliances, slowly, strategically. You also make enemies. You cannot avoid it. In a system this compressed, every decision touches someone's interest. The key is to make fewer enemies than allies. You are careful. You are very careful.
You are 49 years old. Khomeini is dying. The country holds its breath. He is not just a leader, he is the father of the revolution, the man whose face is on every wall in every city, the man who turned a theology into a government. When he goes, nobody knows what holds. The assembly of experts meets. The most obvious successor has too many enemies. The most powerful general is too military for the clerics. The most senior Ayatollah wants no part of politics. Then your name is raised. You are not the most senior cleric in the room. You are not the most obvious choice. But you are acceptable to enough factions. The hardliners can work with you. The pragmatists can work with you. The IRGC commanders respect you. Acceptable to everyone. Threatening to no one. You are chosen. June 4th, 1989. Khomeini is buried. Millions weep in the streets, and quietly, in a room in Tehran, you become the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. You are now the most powerful man in a country of 90 million people. You will hold this position until you die. There is no other way out. You are 55 years old. This is Tuesday. Tuesday is the same as every other day. You wake at 4 in the morning. Fajr prayer is first, always first, before food, before briefings, before anything that belongs to the world of men, you belong to God. This is not performance. This is who you are. It has been who you are since you were 7 years old, watching your father on a cold stone floor. After prayer, you read intelligence reports from 4 different agencies that do not fully trust each other. You read all of them because the gaps between what they each tell you are where the truth lives. You have learned to read silence as carefully as words. At 7, your first visitor arrives. Not the president. The president is elected. The president manages what you allow him to manage. Your first visitor is a commander from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, 125,000 soldiers who answer to you directly, not to the army, not to the government, to you. He briefs you on the nuclear program, on the proxy forces in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, Syria, on the intelligence operations running in 6 countries simultaneously. You listen, you ask 3 questions, you give 2 instructions. He leaves. At 9, the president arrives. You let him speak for 20 minutes. You tell him what has already been decided. He nods. He is not a weak man, but he understands the architecture. Lunch is simple. Rice, bread. Your compound is deliberately modest. The revolution was fought against a Shah who lived in palaces. You cannot be seen living like the Shah. The optics of humility are not separate from the theology. They are the theology. Afternoon is for clerics, scholars, supplicants. A senior Ayatollah who disagrees with a recent fatwa. You listen carefully. You do not change the fatwa, but you make him feel heard. A man who feels heard is less dangerous than a man who feels ignored. A family whose son was killed in Syria fighting for your proxies. You receive them personally. You hold the mother's hands. You tell her the martyrs live with God. You mean it. That is the most important thing about you that the outside world does not understand. You mean it. Evening prayer, dinner alone, reading until midnight. You have done this 10,000 times. You will do it until the day your body stops. Level 7, the architecture nobody sees. You are 60 years old. The world thinks Iran is run by its president. The world is wrong. Here is what you actually control. The Guardian Council, 12 men, 6 appointed directly by you. They review every law passed by Parliament. They approve or reject every candidate for every major election. The president the people vote for has already been filtered by men you chose. Democracy is the visible layer. You are the layer beneath it. The IRGC. They are not just soldiers. They run construction companies worth billions. They run telecommunications. They run ports. They are an economy inside the economy. Their loyalty runs to you because you are the reason they exist. The Basij, a volunteer militia embedded in every neighborhood in the country, watching, reporting. They showed up in 2009 when the Green Movement protesters filled the streets. They will show up again whenever the streets need clearing. State broadcasting, every television channel, every major newspaper, the narrative of the nation runs through systems you control. The judiciary, the nuclear program, the foreign proxy network stretching from Beirut to Baghdad to Sana'a. The elected government manages traffic and trade permits. You manage everything that actually matters. But here is the thing nobody tells you about holding all of this. It is not power that keeps you up at night. It is the people inside the system. You are 65 years old. America is not your real threat. Israel is not your real threat. Your real threats eat dinner 200 meters from your office. The IRGC commanders have been running their economic empire for 30 years. Some of them are now wealthier than small governments. Wealthy men develop ambitions. Wealthy men start thinking about legacy, about succession, about what happens after you. You watch them. You never let any single commander grow powerful enough to stop needing you. You rotate positions. You create competition between factions. You reward loyalty with access. You punish ambition with reassignment. The men around you are brilliant. You cannot afford to let them organize. The reformist clerics are a different problem. They believe the revolution has drifted. They want elections that mean something. They want newspapers that say real things. They invoke Khomeini's original words against the system Khomeini built. You cannot silence all of them. Silencing a senior cleric creates a martyr and a movement. So you contain them, slowly, patiently. The Guardian Council disqualifies their candidates. Their newspapers lose licenses one by one. Their students find the seminary doors closing. You never raise your voice. You never need to. Then there is your son, Mujtaba. He has built his own network, his own connections inside the IRGC, his own relationships with the hardliners who believe the revolution needs a dynasty. You have never publicly named him as anything, but everyone watches him the way they watch a door that hasn't opened yet. You think about this at midnight when the compound is quiet. You have held this system together for 30 years through intelligence and patience and the willingness to make decisions that cost people everything. Now, your biggest uncertainty has your last name. You are 75 years old. Your body is telling you things you do not share with anyone. The doctors who treat you have signed agreements that carry consequences. Your medical file is a state secret. There are countries that would pay enormous sums to know what is in it. When a leader's health is uncertain, enemies plan and allies panic. You have managed both your entire career. You will manage this too. But at night, the weight is different now. You have ruled for 30 years. You have sent men to their deaths. You have signed orders that emptied families. You have looked at rooms full of people who believed in you and made decisions that served the system, even when those decisions cut against the people. The theology holds you. You are the Wali al-Faqih, the guardian jurist. In Shia Islam, you are the representative of the hidden Imam on earth, the 12th Imam who went into occultation 12 centuries ago and will return at the end of days. Until he returns, you hold his authority. You cannot resign from that. No supreme leader has ever resigned. Khomeini died in office. You will die in office. The cage was always part of the throne. You understood this when you accepted it. You just did not understand yet what understanding it would feel like 30 years later in a quiet compound at 75 years old. You understood everything except how long the nights would be. You are 78 years old. The question everyone is too afraid to ask you directly is the question everyone is asking each other. Who comes next? Here is how it works. The Assembly of Experts, 88 elected clerics, officially chooses the next supreme leader, but the Guardian Council decides who can run for the Assembly of Experts, and you shaped the Guardian Council for 30 years. You have built a machine that will produce your successor. The problem is the machine has interests of its own now. The IRGC commanders want a supreme leader who protects their economic empire. The hardline clerics want one who tightens the ideology. The pragmatists want one who can manage the economy without collapsing the system. The reformists want one who loosens the grip before the pressure builds to something that cannot be controlled. All of them are watching Mujtaba. A dynastic succession would violate the founding ideology of a revolution that was partly fought against a dynasty. But ideology bends under the pressure of power. It always has. The Shah's son did not get the throne. Yours might. Or the IRGC decides.
That is the scenario that keeps the senior clerics awake. The scenario where the men with the guns stop waiting for the men with the turbans to decide. You built the IRGC into what it is. You armed them and funded them and protected them for 40 years. Now you lie in a quiet room and wonder if the thing you built is stronger than the system meant to contain it. The announcement comes on a Thursday morning. State television interrupts programming. The anchor is already in black. That is the signal before the words. Everyone in the country knows what black on state television means. You are gone. Within the hour, the streets fill, not with protesters, with mourners. Millions of people who grew up under your rule. For many of them, you are the only supreme leader they have ever known. Khomeini is history. You are the world that raised them. They weep in the squares. Inside the government, the other thing is already happening. The Assembly of Experts convenes within 48 hours, but the real meeting happened before your body was cold, in offices and compounds and secure phone calls that began the moment your doctors understood what was coming. Every faction that spent 30 years competing for your approval is now competing for the approval of whoever they can get into that seat. The IRGC moves assets quietly. Nothing that looks like a power grab, just positioning, just being ready for whatever the clerics decide. The clerics argue for 3 days. The world watches. 90 million Iranians wait. The door of the chamber opens. A name is announced. The cycle has transferred. The man walking to that podium does not fully understand yet what he has accepted. He thinks he does. He has watched it for decades from the inside. He does not understand yet what 30 years of it feels like. He will. In Qom right now, a boy is sitting on a cold stone floor. He is 9 years old. He is memorizing the Quran, every word, every verse. His father told him God comes first, before food, before warmth, before everything. He has never heard of you. He knows the name on the wall, the face on the poster outside his school. He knows that face the way he knows the face of God, as something above and beyond and permanent. He does not know yet that the face on the wall was once a 9-year-old boy on a cold stone floor, just like him. He does not know what the system will ask of him. He does not know what it will take. He just sits and memorizes and believes. The cycle continues.